Hey Raider Nation, what a day to be alive. I do not even know where to start because, finally, we have a reason to celebrate. It has been weeks, maybe even over a month, since we could genuinely feel good about a Raiders performance, and yesterday changed that mood completely. Let's be honest, the game against the Tennessee Titans was far from beautiful football. It was messy, it was physical, it was gritty, but at the end of the day, the scoreboard doesn't lie. A win is a win, and sometimes that is all that matters. You could look at it however you want. The plays were not perfect, the passing game had its flaws, and yet, the Raiders walked off the field victorious. That's what counts, and for fans of this team, that is enough to put a big smile on your face. Now, if there is one clear takeaway from this game, it is that the Raiders are trying something new on offense. They are placing Ashton Gentry at the center of their strategy, and it is becoming increasingly clear that he is now the focal point. Gentry had a season-high 25 touches yesterday, with 23 carries and 2 receptions. For a team that started the year hoping Geno Smith would be the franchise quarterback to run a pass-heavy, spread-the-field attack, it is fascinating to see this shift. The Raiders have recalibrated their offensive approach, choosing to lean on the running game and to build physicality into every drive. Even though Gentry averaged just over 3 yards per carry, consider the quality of the defensive front he was facing. Jeffrey Simmons leading a dominant line that is among the best in the league. 75 rushing yards may not seem spectacular on paper, but the context of the opposition and the consistency of his touches tells the real story. Let's talk about the first drive of the game because it was scripted to perfection. 6 of Gentry's touches came in the opening series, a total of 30 plays that gained 48 yards. While it may have been frustrating to see him taken out of the red zone, the play calling was deliberate, calculated, and it gave us a glimpse of what Pete Carroll and Chip Kelly envisioned for this team. They're building around Gentry, letting him carry the load, and finally, the offensive line is delivering. This is a team that has struggled in the first 3 weeks, with experiments like Alex Kappa costing precious momentum, but yesterday, the line performed. Gentry's involvement in scoring drives underscores a changing of the guard. He is no longer a supporting actor. He is the leading man in the Raiders' offensive playbook. Across multiple drives, including the crucial 13-play, 70-yard touchdown drive right after halftime, Gentry touched the ball 8 times, showing the commitment of the team to run through him. Meanwhile, Geno Smith's role was clearly defined. Manage the game, avoid mistakes, and let the ground attack dictate the pace. He attempted just 23 passes, his second lowest total this season, and despite the win, there is no sugarcoating that it was not a great performance. Turnovers, conservative reads, and the lack of explosive plays highlight that the Raiders are not relying on him to carry the team. Instead, they're constructing a game plan that minimizes risk while maximizing the efficiency of their run game. Pete Carroll's comments earlier in the week emphasized this philosophy. He wants a balanced attack, but is keenly aware that winning will come through establishing the run, particularly with Ashton Gentry. Chip Kelly responded in kind, and a strategy executed on Sunday proved that the Raiders are listening and adapting, letting the running game set the tone and Gentry lead the charge. It is remarkable how different the Raiders' offensive identity has become in just a few weeks. If you take the last 3 games as a snapshot and project them over a full 17-game season, Gentry's stats suggest a player who could easily hit 329 carries, over 1,500 yards, and double-digit touchdowns. He has also been utilized more in the receiving game, racking up targets and receptions that further solidify his importance. The silver and black are now a Gentry-led offense, and this is no longer a fleeting experiment. The line is blocking, the coaching staff is committed, and the plays are designed to showcase number 2 as the centerpiece. The game plan against the Titans was also a testament to smart, calculated football. The team knew their strengths and limitations. Geno Smith was asked to play safe, to dink and dunk, to avoid turnovers, and that's precisely what the plan dictated. Even when he made a mistake, such as the interception that could have shifted momentum, the team was structured to absorb it. The Raiders' philosophy was clear. If we lose, it will be on Gentry. And by putting him in the spotlight while protecting the quarterback, They created a controlled environment where a win was possible. It is an approach that is patient, disciplined, and strategic. Watching the game closely, you can see the methodical way the Raiders managed each scoring opportunity. Even drives that ended in field goals saw Gentry touch the ball 4 times or more, demonstrating a clear prioritization of the run. The offensive line deserves credit for finally stepping up. The blocking schemes allowed Gentry to thrive, a stark contrast to the first 3 weeks when the team struggled to establish rhythm. This offensive identity is taking shape in real time, and it is exciting to see the commitment to a ground-first approach that maximizes physicality and minimizes risk. At the same time, Geno Smith continues to serve as the game manager. While there were bright moments, including a clutch 4th-down connection with Michael Mayer, the overarching takeaway is that Smith is not the franchise quarterback the Raiders envisioned at the start of the season. The team is managing him carefully, limiting high-risk throws, and using him to complement Gentry's workload. The Raiders are demonstrating patience, acknowledging that they cannot rely solely on passing to win games, especially against teams where turnovers could be costly. Ultimately, this game against Tennessee highlighted the evolution of the Raiders' offense. It was a messy, imperfect performance, but it showcased a team that is learning, adapting, and finding its identity. The combination of a physical running game, a strategic game plan, and a protected quarterback has created a formula that produced a win when it was most needed. Confidence is building, and while Geno Smith remains a game manager, Ashton Gentry is emerging as the undisputed leader of this offense. Now let's dive deeper into Geno Smith's role, because, honestly, it is impossible to talk about this Raiders offense without acknowledging the reality of his performance. Make no mistake, Smith's job on Sunday was not to be spectacular. It was to be safe, calculated, and to avoid giving the Titans any momentum through turnovers. And for the most part, he executed that plan, but there were still moments that remind everyone why he is considered a game manager rather than a franchise quarterback. His passing numbers were limited, 23 attempts, completing the throws that the coaches wanted, staying in the short and intermediate ranges, but even within that, there were mistakes that could have been costly. A critical interception and a fumble that almost flipped the game could have undone all the good work, and those mistakes highlight the limitations that still exist. The Raiders are asking him to operate within a very specific framework, and while he can manage it, he is not going to carry this team alone. What was fascinating about watching the tape is seeing the intentional design of the offensive game plan. Every drive was meticulously structured to ensure that Gentry was the workhorse, and Smith's role was to complement that effort, not overshadow it. The coaching staff made it abundantly clear that the run was going to set the tone, and Smith's short passes were simply a safety valve, a way to keep the defense honest and the chains moving. There were moments where he made the right reads, checking down to the open man or executing a quick throw to avoid pressure. But the fact remains that he is not being relied upon to win games on his arm. The Raiders are trying to create an environment where mistakes are minimized, and by leaning on Gentry in the offensive line, they have achieved a formula that keeps them competitive. Even with a win in hand, there is no hiding the truth that Smith's overall game was underwhelming. His average yards per pass were among the lowest of the season, showing a dramatic shift from previous weeks where the Raiders leaned more on the air attack. The contrast is stark. Against the Titans, every attempt was controlled, every decision measured, and the explosive plays were few and far between. It is a reminder that the team's success was largely due to the running game, the disciplined execution of the offensive line, and the careful management of possessions rather than an outstanding performance through the air. Yet, this conservative approach worked because the Raiders controlled the game's tempo, limited turnovers, and stayed disciplined in critical moments. One of the most telling aspects of Smith's game is how the coaching staff treats him. Pete Carroll's comments after the game made it clear that Smith's role is not to be the hero, but to facilitate the offense and avoid mistakes. A really solid game, according to Carroll, translates to game manager territory, and it underscores the philosophy the Raiders are adopting. By protecting Smith from high-risk situations, they're trying to optimize the team's overall chances of winning. It is a pragmatic approach, acknowledging the limitations while putting the pieces in place to succeed. And while fans may crave explosive passing plays or deep throws downfield, the reality is that the Raiders are building their identity around a methodical, physical, and disciplined offensive attack led by Ashton Gentry. Watching the team's execution on Sunday, you could see the confidence building. The offensive line, which struggled in the early weeks, finally delivered, giving Gentry the space and consistency needed to establish the run. The running game became the heartbeat of the team, and with each successful carry and scoring drive, the confidence of the players grew. Even with a conservative passing approach, the Raiders looked like a team capable of controlling the game from start to finish. Special teams contributed, the defense held the Titans in check, and every element of the team worked together to secure a win that many fans have been waiting for. It was not flashy, but it was effective, and that is exactly what a team in need of a confidence boost needed. Despite the victory, the questions surrounding Smith's consistency and ability to lead this team long-term remain. There were moments of brilliance, a fourth down completion, smart checkdowns, correct reads under pressure, but they were punctuated by mistakes that remind everyone why the franchise cannot rely solely on him. The interception, the occasional misread, and the reliance on Gentry highlight the balancing act that the Raiders are performing. They are winning games, yes, but it is a win built on discipline, physicality, and careful execution rather than a dominant passing performance. For fans, this can be both comforting and concerning. Comforting because the team is finally finding its rhythm, and concerning because the quarterback situation remains unresolved. What makes this Raiders team so interesting right now is how they are evolving. They are proving that a physical, run-heavy offense can dictate games, and that careful management of possessions can be enough to secure victories. Confidence is growing, and players are responding to the game plan. The offensive line is finally performing at a level that allows Gentry to shine, and Smith is fulfilling the role the coaches designed for him. There is growth on multiple levels: offensive cohesion, defensive reliability, and special teams improvement. Even without spectacular passing numbers, the Raiders are starting to show the characteristics of a team that can compete and win in difficult situations. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on our Las Vegas Raiders. And don't be shy. Drop your thoughts on the news in the comments below. In what could be one of the most shocking moves of the NFL offseason, whispers are circulating that star wide receiver Chris Godwin has officially parted ways with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and is set to join the Las Vegas Raiders. While no official announcement has been made, sources close to the situation suggest that negotiations have reached their final stages and Godwin's signature could be imminent. Fans and analysts alike are still reeling from the idea that Godwin, a cornerstone of Tampa Bay's passing attack, might be trading the sunny shores of Florida for the neon lights of Las Vegas. Known for his precise route running, reliable hands, and knack for making clutch plays, Godwin's potential move to the Raiders could signal a dramatic shift in both teams' offensive outlooks. The Buccaneers, who have leaned heavily on Godwin in recent seasons, may now be facing a significant void at the wide receiver position, prompting questions about who can step up to fill his shoes. Meanwhile, the Raiders appear poised to make a statement. Adding a player of Godwin's caliber could instantly transform their aerial game, giving quarterback Derek Carr, or whoever takes the helm, a proven weapon capable of changing the dynamics of any matchup. Rumors suggest that Las Vegas is offering a deal that reflects Godwin's elite status, possibly making him one of the top-paid receivers in the league. This move, if finalized, could also send a message to free agents across the league. The Raiders are serious about contention and willing to make bold moves to secure talent. Speculation is already running wild on social media, with fans imagining how Godwin might fit into the Raiders' offensive scheme. Some insiders hint that he could become the focal point of their passing game, while others suggest the pairing might be part of a larger strategy to attract more offensive weapons. For Tampa Bay, the chatter is equally intense. Questions are emerging about potential replacements, draft strategy, and how the team plans to rebound from losing such a reliable target. Though nothing is official yet, the NFL rumor mill is buzzing, And this potential Chris Godwin Raider saga is shaping up to be one of the most talked about stories of the offseason. Both fan bases are on high alert. Social media timelines are exploding, and analysts are scrambling to predict the ripple effects of a move that could redefine the landscape of the league. Whether it's a bold gamble or a brilliant strategic play, one thing is certain. If this transfer goes through, the NFL will never look at Tampa Bay or Las Vegas the same way again. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay updated with exclusive news about our Las Vegas Raiders, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that like button. We can't wait to hear your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next video.